My movement front to back is a gentle vertical action, emptying one side, filling the other, and not driving me backwards. Hi, I'm Grant Kleiman. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you'd like to support us or join our online academy, there are links in the description. All right, let's get to the lesson. We'll begin with the feet apart, about shoulder width, arms relaxed at our sides, and we'll just stand in Wu Ji for a few moments. Gently suspend the crown of your head, center and relax your shoulders. Empty your chest, release your waist, open your hips, let the tailbone gently extend towards the ground, and let your weight sink all the way down through the feet into the earth. Turn your attention inward, let your breath relax down into the lower abdomen below your navel. Today we're going to extend from our pouring water exercise into a rolling step exercise. To begin this exercise, we will sink our weight down through one foot, all the way down to the Yongchuan point or bubbling well, which is just behind the toes and sort of the front pads or balls of the feet. And we lift the heel of the opposite foot. This completely empties one foot and fills the other foot and connects us to the ground through that foot. Then we're going to touch the heel of the empty foot down right around the tip of the other toes. So it's in its own lane, about hip to shoulder width apart, but it doesn't go any more forward than the tip of the toes of the full or stable foot. And then we begin to sink down towards that foot. So we're going to roll from heel across sort of the outer edge of the foot. The pinky toe will contact the ground first, and then that will sort of spiral around to the big toe with a gentle gripping or hugging of the ground with the toes. The tailbone should remain down. You want to watch out for emptying the low back or the Mingmen region and sort of tilting the pelvis forward. We want to keep the tailbone dropping to the ground, the low back nice and long, and the Mingmen area feeling full. And then we empty the back foot. So the heel will lift as we sink down into the front foot. And then we simply extend at the knee, gently touch the ground with the heel of the empty foot, and begin sinking down, rolling the foot down around the outer edge, pinky toe to big toe, so it has that internal spiral movement in the foot, a slight gripping of the ground, and a gentle peeling up of the opposite foot. So this stepping exercise is more about releasing and sinking down into the forward leg as we empty out of the rear leg. It's a vertical movement as opposed to a horizontal movement. We aren't pushing forward from the rear leg towards the front. The feeling of motion is not of the body being driven forward or falling forward, but rather of sinking down into the empty foot which has been placed in front. And then we empty out of the rear foot. And those two things happen reciprocally, meaning as we fill the front foot, we're emptying out of the rear foot. So it's not one and then the other. Emptying out of the front foot, as in this case now we fill down into the rear foot and lift the toes of the lead foot. This is what starts moving us backwards. Then I simply bend the knee, touch the toe pads and balls of the feet right around the back edge of the heel of the front foot, the full foot, and then I sink down there. So this idea is this reciprocal action of filling and emptying by sinking down through one leg into the ground and emptying out from the other, so that my movement front to back is a gentle vertical action, emptying one side, filling the other, and not driving me backwards. You can, if you wish, raise the opposite foot up just to give yourself a little bit more of a challenge, to create a little bit more differentiation between empty and full on the two sides of the body. As you raise the empty leg, you're sinking more into the stable leg, and this will help to open up the kidney area and mobilize the low back on either side of Ming Men. And we can step down, still a short step, sink, empty, raise. Step down, sink, empty, raise. And again, the raising is still part of that reciprocal motion. Sinking down, as I fill the front leg, I empty the rear leg. As it rises, it continues to empty and sink down into the stable foot, and then I step down. You may find that it's helpful to exhale with the sinking, just to help to release tension in the upper body. Sink to the dantian, sink all the way to the bubbling well. Empty and step. As we sit down into one leg, lift the other, right? As things stretch vertically across the back, there may be a little bit of rotation to the right and to the left, a little bit of rotation up and down in the frontal plane. But it's not something we're emphasizing in the movement. You might see my body turning a little bit side to side. It's not something you make happen. Just relax and sink. And if rotation is occurring, that's fine. Don't fight it either. One thing we want to watch out for is that when the leg comes up, we don't rise up, we don't lean back, we don't lean forward. The body should move almost like it's just floating evenly forward, right? Just a smooth action with very little, if any, vertical movement at all in the body. So once you're comfortable with this, you can begin to explore stepping out further. Now, as I extend my leg out, I'm going to need to sit down a little bit lower in the stable or supporting leg. This is mostly just because that is the way that the leg can extend from the pivot point of the hip. In other words, if I extend my leg out further, but I haven't lowered my hips down, my foot won't touch the ground. So I actually have to lower down a little bit more to touch the ground with the heel. So now I have about a foot of distance between my rear foot and my lead foot. Now, as you increase this distance, you're going to find that you're going to want to turn the toes just a little bit outward. It's not really about the toes, it's about the internal space of the quad or hip. It will allow the pelvis to rotate naturally, allow the hip of the stepping leg to move into a forward position, and allow the knee to bend in a more healthy way for your joints, so that you can sit a little bit lower into the leg, sink down a little bit more. We can extend that leg out a little bit further while maintaining our root through the full or stable foot. And we pour the weight into the lead leg, empty from the rear leg. And now this step will have a little bit more rotation just by nature as we sink here and empty here. So as you lengthen these steps, they'll go from sort of pure sagittal front to back plane movements to sort of crescent movements in which they follow a slightly curving path through an arc that goes from about hip to shoulder width apart, facing the direction of movement, coming in to your midline or towards your vertical axis, and then circling back out a little bit wider. And again, this is partially just by nature of the rotation, partially by nature of just the way the body moves when we're taking larger steps while maintaining good alignment in the joints. So you can see that the foot comes into center, steps back out, and then we rotate, sink, and turn into it. Return to neutral Wu Ji posture. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turning to Wu Ji. And that concludes our 10-minute Tai Chi session of rolling steps.